I do like tacos.
That's true. Tacos are good.
A lot.
It's Tuesday night. It's your favorite night of the week. And why would it be the favorite night of the week? Well, it could be because you like tacos, but that's not it. It's because Ben Stowe is on DJNTV. Good evening, Ben.
I do like tacos.
That's true. Tacos are good.
A lot.
Maybe we should have a Tuesday night with Ben eating tacos. Would that be awesome?
For me.
The rest of us, maybe not so much. Okay, I'm seeing your point. Ben, tonight,
sure watching me eat is a great thing. I don't know,
sometimes, you are an entertaining man. I mean, there's some people who just aren't, but you are. I'm just saying. So tonight, gang, we're going to be kind of going and revisiting a topic we hit in one of our prior Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe shows a long time ago, where we were talking wireless audio. You guys have had a lot of questions about that. So Ben, let's kind of just go into some of the components of what it would take for me to go from my mixer or controller wirelessly to multiple speakers.
Well, in the simplest sense, we need a transmitter and we need a receiver. We need to take the audio from your mixer into the transmitter, broadcast that out to the receiver, which then receives it, converts the radio frequency energy back into electrical energy and audio signal into the speaker, and then that's it, really, in an oversimplified nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's got to be multiple ways to do this, because I'm hearing, that this Bluetooth. There's Bluetooth technology. There's sending audio over Wi-Fi. There's the 2-point-something gigahertz thing here. There's digital audio. There's so many things out there. I mean, which one's going to be the best fit for a mobile DJ, or is there a best fit?
Well, it depends.
Well, great.
It's been a while since I got to.
I was going to say, it's only been 90 seconds into the show, and we got our first "It Depends."
There's some of these methods that I'm not a super huge fan of. Bluetooth, I'm not a really big fan of. It's fine for short range, but I don't find it to be really a useful way to send high quality audio over a long distance. Certainly, Wi-Fi has its own inherent challenges. It can work well, but now you run into some of the network issues and some of the challenges, and so I'm not sure that's the best solution for everybody. We see some people who will take a wireless mic and use that sort of in reverse. They'll maybe take a lav body pack transmitter, plug that into their mixer, and then they put the receiver unit with their loudspeaker. I think that works, and certainly works fine. That's what wireless mics are designed to do, is to send audio from point A to point B.
Sure.
However, we have to be mindful that it maybe isn't full bandwidth audio. Not always are these wireless mics designed to carry the lowest frequencies. Sometimes they cut off at like 70 hertz, and so you're really missing most of the fundamentals of a subwoofer. What I find personally is my go-to, I guess, is a wireless in-ear monitoring system. And what these systems, and that's what we're seeing here in front of me,
okay,
are designed to do is to send good quality full bandwidth audio to a musician's in-ear monitors, and you see musicians on stage using these basically fancy earbuds, but full bandwidth is very important. They want to hear the full breadth of the music. They want to hear the low frequency, the kick drum, and that sort of thing, and so I find these work very, very well. And we have our rack mount transmitter with a large antenna, which can be upgraded to a larger antenna, a helical or a log periodic. And we've done some shows on antennas. Feel free to check those out. They're free. And then our smaller receivers go out with our loudspeakers. And I kind of liken this to like a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
The radio station has the great big tower, and then you're driving around in your car jamming out with your little antenna, So anyway, that's how I like to do it. Some of the other bonus features here, if you will, is that this is a stereo input.
I'm going to go to full screen so we can see it better there, Ben. Just one sec. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Good to go? All right.
Yep.
So we can see this is a stereo input. So we don't have to choose between our left send or our right send. And we don't have to try to sum those. And there's some, why nots on that. This will allow us to take both left and right. We can sum them electronically in here, which is much better than just jamming it together in a Y cable and trying to drive those outputs against each other and that sort of thing. Or we can actually preserve true stereo imaging where this could be left and this could be right, for my wireless speakers.
Right.
So some reasons I really like this setup best. Now, one of the challenges, is they do still run on batteries. And you do have a volume control here too. It helps you control gain at the source of your loudspeaker and that sort of thing. And you say, well, I don't want to go through batteries all the time. Well, no problem. We got you covered. We got this little gizmo here. Plugs into the wall and replaces the batteries in that pack.
Oh, nice.
This is now AC powered. So
now the big question, I'm going to go back to the two of us, but the big question I've seen from people asking is how many of those receivers can that transmitter support or power?
How many cars can tune into a radio station?
Well, that's my question. I've been out counting at the end of the driveway, and I get past like 12, and I get confused.
This system here is a UHF-based system. There is no pairing per se. The transmitter does not know that there's a receiver. Just in the same instance as the car radio and the radio station aren't talking to each other. It's a one-directional communication, and thus there really is no limit. Certainly no practical one. Literally, you could have hundreds of these receivers as long as you were within range. Again, use our radio station analogy. If you drive outside of the range, well, you lose the radio station. Same thing could occur here. If we go miles down the road, you're not going to get it anymore. But if for some reason you needed a large number of wireless speakers and they were within a radius or within the pattern area of a directional antenna, they would all work.
Let's talk about that radius now. If we were going to be going out in the back, right, back behind the NLFX headquarters there, or even in the front, we're in the open lot there. How far, would you expect us to be able to go and still be very strong with the signal with those belt packs?
Well, it depends. Again, unfortunately, it's environmental. It depends on a lot of things. But generally speaking, with a standard antenna, I don't feel the least bit uncomfortable, at 100 or 200 feet. Mind you, again, it's environmental. If you have something right on the fringes of your frequency, it's going to start to erode your range. And so good RF management is going to give you much better. I have seen these work reliably many times at over 500 feet. Even in large football stadiums with a lot of other RF going on, simply upgrading the antennas, they work very well, at those kinds of distances. So it's a fairly tried and true technology. Now, we get into limits and we talk about something like Bluetooth where there is pairing involved. Now, there are some newer Bluetooth technologies that allow, we'll call it multicasting, I guess, but that's a different cup of tea. And understand that what we're talking about here is not universal to every way you might do this. Same thing with Wi-Fi, where you're talking about the Ethernet protocol is bidirectional. And at some point, you're going to exhaust the capabilities of the system. So the simplest one, to talk about in that sense is an analog UHF system.
Last part before we wrap up, latency. If I am running, let's say again, we're out in an open parking lot area, or maybe even on a football field for a field day, and I want to have speakers spread out. So I have my two, and then I go out, another 50 feet. Am I going to have noticeable latency if I'm walking around between these speakers? Well,
the word you use is latency, and I don't think it kind of reminds me of that meme. You keep using that word, and I do not think you know what it means. But anyway, when we talk about latency, we're talking about within the components, the conversion from analog to digital to analog, and maybe the propagation of the radio wave. And radio waves travel at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles a second, or 300 million meters a second, whichever way you want it, I guess. And you're never, ever, ever going to detect that. Certainly not over 50 feet, but not even over miles would you detect the latency of the transmission. However, audio, on the other hand, travels very, very slow, about 1,128 feet per second. So at 50 feet, we might have, 35 or so milliseconds of delay, and that could be an issue. If you're hearing both sets of speakers, that 35 milliseconds is going to be meaningful. So typically what you would do is delay back your closest set of speakers to the furthest set of speakers. For example, if you have someone in the back who's hearing these satellites, just delay the satellites back to the distance back to the main PA, and so that delay is no longer an issue. Got to be careful, in some of these scenarios. We don't want to be delaying the main PA much, because then it maybe doesn't line up with the psychoacoustics of the spoken word. You see the lips moving and you got to wait 10 milliseconds to hear the sound. And that's going to be an issue as you get that far back from the stage anyway. So we've kind of really complicated this issue, but the short version is, would you hear it? It depends. If I was in a different room and I was listening to a remote satellite speaker and I really couldn't hear the main PA, it wouldn't matter at all. Not one bit. Sorry, my phone is going nuts over there. And I got one of these Fitbit deals, so it's going nuts. So I'm vibrating here. So anyway, in case anybody watching thought I had a twitch, I'm just my hand like. Anyway, it depends. Maybe you would notice, maybe you wouldn't. But the issue here is the speed of sound and the arrival time from multiple loudspeakers. That's maybe what's at issue here.
Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, that can be handled with digital processing and different things that are common in higher end boards, and something that could be added to a basic system if you needed it.
Yeah, super easy. And some loudspeakers, even, the EV-ETX has delay built in.
Yeah, for sure.
You could fix it right at the loudspeaker.
And you'd be good to go. Great stuff. If this is your first time of catching one of our Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe shows, thank you for watching. We've got a link down in the description below that will have all of the playlist of the Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe shows. You can go down there, check those out, and see the list of all the different shows we've done over the years. We've got quite a few of them, and there's actually a couple of them that are pretty good.
2.5 years we've been doing this, and we finally got a couple that were pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So, another 5 years, and we'll have like a handful. It'll be great.
I'll take it.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. Good night.